Hey, One Goal Fellows and Program Directors. My name is Alex Ritson, and I'm here to walk you through how to use the MyOptions tool specifically for Y2. We're excited to launch this new version of a college finder or post-secondary finder tool. This tool has a new version of feedback that wasn't in our former tool. It also is a little bit cleaned up and more streamlined so that there's not all of the tabs of research, so that it can help you make decisions about your post-secondary pathways in Y2. Your best fit list is going to be really important to have solidified, clear B schools and certification pathways and universities that you are truly invested in. You're going to put this in your FAFSA. You're going to be applying to these schools. So make sure that this is something you spend time on, that you are thoughtful about what are the schools that matter most to you and set you up for achieving your professional aspirations. Even though we're excited about this tool, we do want to name that we know that it's been loading pretty slowly. We created two versions of the tool, one that's here and then one that is right underneath it. And so you can enter either one of these versions. If maybe half of your class does the first one and the other half does the second one, that can help with the loading process. So ask your PD for help on which one you should use. So you can either copy and paste or just click on the link. Right now I'm copying and pasting this one, and it's gonna, after I click make a copy, potentially take a little bit of time. It could be 10, 15, 30 seconds. It could take as long as 4 or 5 minutes. And so you might need to be patient and wait. While you're waiting, so I'm going to click make a copy. As long as the wheel is spinning, that's good. Don't clear out. Just be patient and wait. I might go get my GPA and SAT so that I can update my selectivity. I might make sure I have my post-secondary list from last year, my best fit list in front of me. And I just might be making sure, like, what matters to me about college is I'm getting ready. So I know it's annoying to wait, but be patient and it will pop up. So now it's here. Mine was pretty fast. Yours might take a little bit more time. And this tool walks you through the how-to. You can either use the tabs on the bottom throughout, or you can click on links that direct you to each stage of this tool. To click on the link, weirdly, you kind of have to hover over it and then click the link above it, which is a little bit strange, but that's how this tool works. So I'm going to first personalize this to my region. I am in Chicago. Let's say I don't really remember my selectivity level. It's been a while since we've talked about this. I think I remember that I was 4-year eligible, but after I click this, it'll show the selectivity matrix, and so it'll help me remember and be more accurate. I also want to click my One Goal email address, which is typically your first name, last name, onegoalgraduation.org. It's possible you have a number after yours. Just double check with your DTS that that's accurate. And so let's say I have my GPA and SAT in front of me. I used to have I have a 2.25 cumulative unweighted. That's what we always use. And I used to have a 740 SAT. So I was 4-year eligible last year, but I actually retook the SAT over the summer and got a 790. So it looks like I jumped up to somewhat selective. So celebrate that growth. I'm a somewhat selective in terms of my match right now. So I'm going to go to next to see how to use this tool a little bit more. For this tool, you're in control. You're empowered. We care about match and selectivity rankings just because we know there's a lot of research that shows if I go to a match or an overmatch school that my persistence levels are higher. But things matter to me. So I know that cost might matter a lot to me, or scholarships, or diversity, or how close it is to home. So this is about me making decisions that are right for me. So anytime there's a yellow box, I'm going to click X. That means I like it or I want to keep it. Green means it's a match school, blue is a recommended school by One Goal, and purple is that they have strong graduation rates. I can either click begin making my selections or use the select criteria tab at the bottom. Now I care most about it having my major. I want to study education, let's say, and I'm going to click X here because that matters to me. I also care how much school is going to cost, and I care about making sure I don't have too much debt after school. I also care about the diversity of campus, so that's not a specific box, but I notice here percent of students who are African American and percent of students who are Hispanic will maybe help me see how diverse a campus is. Maybe I also really care, let's say, about having mental health services, just because that matters to me. I know that I have anxiety and could struggle with that. And then let's say, like, I'm just really into sports, college sports, and I want to make sure they have a great sports program. So those are the things that I'm going to see in my final decision-making tab. I can click next or go to select colleges. Now this might take a second to load. This might look somewhat familiar to the version of the tool that we saw in last year. And in this version, you can use it either as I already have my list, I'm ready to go, and I just need feedback, or you could use this as a research tool. I'll show you how to orient to it I have my list in front of me, I know what schools I'm interested in. To do that, we're gonna use the Control F or the Find feature. So we'll hit Control F on our keyboard, and we're gonna look for specific schools that were already on my list. So let's say University of Illinois Springfield was on there. I'm gonna type in Springfield. It looks like there's a lot of Springfield, so maybe I'll go University of Illinois. There's 3 of those. Springfield, that's one of them. So I'll click X because that's one of the schools on my list. And then UIC is also on my list, so I'm going to click X. And then University of Michigan is a school I've always dreamed about. They have a great sports program, although they didn't do so well last weekend at football. So X for that. It's an overmatch +3. Might be a little bit hard to get into, but I'm going to leave it there. And then let's say I'm really interested in Yale. It's like a school I know of. Oh, overmatch +3 also. That might be a little bit hard too. And then let's say Indiana University. I'm not sure if it's the Purdue campus or another campus, so I might need to scroll and guess. I think it's South Bend, but I probably would need to Google that to make sure. So that's kind of how you would go about this. You want to have about 6 to 8 schools that are in your final best fit list. And then what will happen next if I go to review list is those schools will pop up, and then I'll be able to see are they match, overmatch, undermatch, and those things that I indicated caring about show up here. The ones that I opted for extra that I picked, they're not going to show up automatically. I have to do some research. So I would have to go to each of these websites to say, do I care about, or do they offer free mental health services? Do they have good sports? I'm going to have to do that research on my own and then say like yes or no, things like that. So that's how I would do it if I already have a list. And then I can look at my feedback, and this just helps me organize my thinking. You can also use this as a research tool, and the way I would do that is similar to our former tool. I would filter for different things. So let's say I want to look for mostly match, overmatch +1, and undermatch -1. And then I'm going to leave NA because NA might mean like a progressive pathway program or just a school that doesn't have a clear selectivity level. So I'll leave that. Then I'm going to sort for things that matter to me. Let's say I want to make sure that they have a strong graduation rate. So I might select specifically schools that are over 40%, or maybe I want to make sure that they have my education major. So I'll filter out any that say no. So this will help me start sorting and help me find some schools that I'm interested in. I can do some research by clicking on their websites and figuring out if those schools are right for me. So you can research. And in that case, let's say Eastern Kentucky seems great. I can click X and add it to my list. So now that shows up here. Now we go to the new feature where we get to review feedback. This feedback I want to name is suggestions. We know that you should be empowered to make choices for yourself, but we also know there's a lot of data and research about strong choices where our fellows have had success in the past. So I'm going to read each of these. So here are some schools that are match schools that are really strong schools that I might want to consider. I already have UIS. North Park, I haven't really looked at, but they have a one-goal scholarship. So maybe I'm going to do some research on North Park. It looks like I only have 3 match schools. I want to try to have at least 4. And then I have a few schools that are beyond overmatch +1 that might be challenging for me. So I might need to revisit my list and make some tweaks and modifications. After I go back and do that, the final step is to make sure that my lists are submitted and that I've gotten feedback both from the tool and from my program director. Once I do that, I click yes, and then I can submit these schools directly to the One Goal form. This is a new step as well. We don't have to click on a separate link. It's right here for you, and you can update your schools this way and then click submit. So that's how to use the tool. We're excited to use it. Good luck and have a good day.